Debt, it's one of those things that's just following so much of us around, heavy on our backs. Actually, about 77% of Americans are currently in debt or have some kind of debt. And that is just so crazy. And I don't want to be one of those people. I have to get out of that cycle. And so now I have created a plan to help me become debt free. So just talking about debt isn't enough. I need to go straight into what my debts are and be very open and vulnerable about how much I owe and what I'm going to do with these debts. So starting off, I have two main kinds of debts, student loans and credit cards. And my total debts add up to about $77,800. Firstly, my credit card has a balance of about $5,800, and that's about 7% of my overall debt. My second debts consist of my student loans, which amount to about $72,000 after you add all the little ones up, and that's about 93% of my total debt. Now, I don't just have student loans for no reason. I did go to school. I got my bachelor's in psychology and anthropology. I love learning about people, the way they think, the way they act. And then I did continue on and got my master's in accounting, specifically forensic accounting. So I'm able to use kind of my understanding of people and put that into understanding money, what travels, how it travels, what it's doing, who's doing what, and how they're doing it. While researching different ways that I could attack my debt, I found two main methods. The first was the snowball method. This one focuses on the smallest balance first. So you use that momentum and that drive that you get from accomplishing that first one, and you use that and you build and build and build, and you build a snowball into this giant, a debt attack. The second method is the avalanche method, and this one focuses on the highest interest rate first. This way, you're able to actually make your debts decrease faster because you're not accruing as much interest over time. When applying both methods to my personal debt, I was able to see which one would probably work best for me. So focusing with the snowball method and the smallest balance first, the total payoff time equates to about 130 months, which would be 10 years and 10 months. The total interest paid over time would be $27,510, with the first debt eliminated tonight, because when I go through my budget, I do know that I have some left over to kind of just wipe that one out clean first. When it comes to the avalanche method, however, where I focus on the highest interest rate first, the total payoff time was only 129 months, which is 10 years and 9 months, with the total interest paid over time equating to $27,300. But the first debt wouldn't have been eliminated for 6 months. Because of this, I chose to go with the snowball method. I think with the difference in interest paid over time, it doesn't seem like it would be too much, and plus I plan to kind of pay it off a bit earlier than that with the sale of the tiny house, so I'm not really too concerned about the interest. But with the first debt being paid off soon, like tonight or tomorrow, whenever I do make that transfer, I think that momentum and that motivation will help push me forward. Okay, so here is my expenses tracker, or my budget, that I'm going to try to follow for October. So what's expected for my monthly income is to be $3,750, and then my monthly expenses are expected to be around $22. This would allow me to put $1,000 to debt, and with an extra excess of $228 that I can put into savings, or that I could spend, say if it's like a gift or just little things. I think if I restricted myself too much, then it's harder for me to follow the budget, but it also makes me want to save, because I'm like, I only have $228. Like, do I really want to spend it all on nonsense, or do I actually want to start trying to put that into savings? So that comes from 2 paychecks for my full-time job, which should be about $1,300 each, and then 2 paychecks for my part-time job, which should be around $575. Some weeks are different, just because I might work a few hours more, a few hours less, depending on the days that they do put me on my shifts. So that is why it's kind of an average. So it's usually around there, but you know, it can change. And so I'll kind of come back into this budget at the end of the month and kind of input my actual numbers and see what happened. But with that, my expenses are looking like my rent plus mortgage should be about $16.15. That includes my rent of where I'm living now, and then the lot rental for my tiny house, because I still do owe that because I haven't sold it yet. My cell phone bill, my Netflix, which is shared between a lot of us. I pay for the subscription, my sister pays for another subscription, my other sister pays for another subscription, and then I have my Apple, which includes my like storage or like Apple Music, just those subscriptions. And then I have my Discover, which is my only credit card, and it's the one that has the credit card balance. I am still just paying the minimums on that because that is not the debt that I'm tackling first, because it's not my smallest balance. And so because of that, I still just kind of want to put the minimum in as like a monthly expense that will come out every single month no matter what. My electricity is looking like around $110, Wi-Fi $35, Kindle Unlimited is, I pay $12 for that, but that's because I do read a lot. I also read books from the library, so I do a mix of them all, because some books are in the library, some aren't. Gas, I try to fill up only about once a week. If I do have to drive for a special event or something to a different town, that changes things, but that's not very often. That's like once every few months. My gas is looking to be about $200 a month with this month, and then groceries, I'm trying to stay under $300, but we will see. And with that, kind of the monthly debt that I would pay would be the student loans that I pay $1,000 to. So that is what my budget is looking like for this month. I'm gonna try to stick to it, but we will just see what happens. I'm also going to try to track my expenses starting from October 1st. I think that would be really fun to see, and to kind of do an audit of what I actually spent on at the end of this month. So I'm excited for that. So with that, that is all I have today. It's just my plan of attack of how I'm going to go into this month, and then I'm going to try to do check-ins and try to hold myself accountable, similar to what I said about like working out and the gym. And I'm so excited to start this journey of holding myself accountable, paying off debt, working better at volleyball, and just like overall improving my life and just trying to stick to my goals towards the end of this year. If you liked watching this video, please, leave a like. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to see if I continue on this journey, or if you're on your own journey and you want to be held accountable and create a community of accountability. I would love that. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.